It's time for Talkin Tauntauns, your Star Wars source at AIPTcomics.com.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Talkin Tauntauns. I am Jim Lehane, and with me, as always, is Nicole Herview.
Hey.
Whoa.
That's what I got. That's what I have in me right now.
I think that was better than a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, what?
Hi.
Hello.
I'm alive.
What up?
How are you doing, Nicole?
I'm good. I'm okay. Yeah, no, it's good. It's busy time at work. We're coming off of the slow season, going right into the busy one. Like, there is no in between. It's all guns blazing right now. It's no joke. And I don't know if I mentioned on the channel that I had COVID a month ago, but I had COVID a month ago, yeah. And I keep getting that, like, you wake up and you're like, yeah, I think I'm good. And then you go to do something and you're like, oh, I'm tired. And you have to sit down. That's me. Like, just going to get my car service
but
today.
I don't have COVID. I have old.
Well, see, I have a combination, okay? Because I'm at that point where your body starts to turn on you. Like, begins to. It started for me. I'll tell you this as if you're my therapist. The day I turned 27, I'm not kidding. I feel like I felt it happen. I drank as much as I normally would going out on my 27th birthday. Like at midnight, I turned 27, like that time. And I went out. I had like 4 drinks, like nothing crazy. And I puked my guts out. I was so sick in this bar. It was bad. I felt in that moment my body go, you're never doing this again. And now guess what? I can't have more than 2 drinks or I don't get drunk. My head starts to hurt. Any kind of drink, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If I have more than 2 alcoholic beverages, I'm in a bad place. That started on my 27th birthday. So my body is like starting to give up on me a little bit. Like it's starting to like make that turn down. And the COVID did not help. So I'm in that recovery period. I was reading something that like you shouldn't exercise until like 6 weeks after you have COVID because like you'll just hurt yourself. And I was like, I understand why. Like walking out the door is difficult still. And I otherwise feel fine, but I have no stamina. None.
Yeah, in regards to the drinking, I don't drink much in general at all. I don't like the taste of alcohol, and I feel like if I'm going to be drinking something, I want to enjoy what I'm drinking.
Yeah.
And then after my car accident, I had a pretty severe concussion, and so I just don't.
That's probably wise.
Yeah, I just have no desire, and so I don't.
Yeah, that's the same. Like, I just have no desire to get drunk anymore. I'm like, no, that's for the youth. Like, literally, like, never mind. I don't want it.
The youths.
The youths. I mean, listen, but put me in Disney World, and that logic doesn't apply anymore. All bets are off, and I can drink. I think it's because they use, like, a half a sip of alcohol in every cocktail.
Because they taste good.
They taste so good. I'm like, blue carousel and everything. It's fine. Just give it to me. That I can do, but it's usually also spaced out for many hours in the day. But anyway, that was my segue into Disney.
That's how I was going to use that. I'm like, speaking of Disney World.
Your tauntaun will freeze before you reach the first marker. Then I'll see you in hell.
Hello, what have we here?
Yeah, we're doing a lot of news and stuff today. Some Disney Plus Day drops, I guess. But just some stuff from the last week.
Well, D23 was the weekend.
D23 was the weekend and Disney Plus Day was during the week, so.
Yep, and so we got a lot.
There's a lot of crap.
We got a lot of news, not as much as Star Wars Celebration, but more than we've gotten since, I think, combined.
I was not prepared for the amount of news we got. And in general, I mean, I could talk ad nauseum about the parks news. I could speak for hours about the fact that myself and our dear friend Holly are very excited. We're getting the Hatbox Ghost in Disney World. We've never had him in the Haunted Mansion in Disney
I saw
World.
her post and I didn't understand it.
So
okay,
there's an
thank you for
animatronic.
explaining it.
You know who this is, the Hatbox Ghost? You know who I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay, so there is a really dope animatronic, okay, because I'm going to get real nerdy for a minute. I understand that this has nothing to do with Star Wars.
You're also on a Star Wars podcast, so I'm sure no nerds listen to this.
Listen, this is the legend and part truth of the Hatbox Ghost, okay? He was this phenomenal idea in the 70s. When did Disneyland open?
Disneyland is over 50 years old.
Right.
Well, it's over 70 years old.
Well, the idea was in the late 60s. Okay. Right. Probably. So at that time, they had this idea for an animatronic that would have a little hat box, a clear hat box in his hand, and his head would disappear from his shoulders and appear in his hat box and like go back and forth. But at the time, the technology didn't work very well. So they put him in the Disneyland mansion because obviously Disney World wasn't open yet.
So 55 is when Disneyland opened.
Okay. Thank you. So I don't think he was opening day. Haunted Mansion was not an opening day attraction. So I don't know when Haunted Mansion opened in Disneyland. I think they just had a 50th anniversary for that a couple years ago. So regardless, whenever they made him,
69.
He didn't work very well. He didn't work great. But they tested him in those test audiences, whether it was cast members and their families or, Imagineers' friends or whatever it was. We're going through the testing of the ride and they saw him. Everyone was talking about him. Even though he didn't work great, he didn't work awesome, you could still see both heads at all times, really. They were like, he's creepy looking. People were freaking out about him. He was on all of the marketing. Okay? All of it. And when the Haunted Mansion actually opened, he was nowhere to be found. So word of mouth was going around about this animatronic. And then when the mansion opened, he was not there. So people always wondered, the legend of the Hatbox Ghost, this, that, the other thing. The truth is they obviously removed him and put him in storage. And they were like, we will figure him out one day, I guess. And the legend is, this is where I don't know where the truth is, because all that is true for the most part, unless I have some details wrong. He disappeared. That's the fun legend. No one knows where the original animatronic is, as far as I know, unless something has changed, and I don't know about it. No one knows where he went, which means someone just took him, which is probably what happened.
Well, he's a ghost.
Or he got up and walked away. All right? He's gone. The original Hatbox Ghost animatronic is gone. So he created this legend because, again, this is when the internet didn't exist. No one knew how to find, why did they remove him? So there was all of this, talk around this Hatbox Ghost that appears in art, all this stuff, whatever. Anyway, a few years ago, maybe in I would say around 2010, in that general area of time, they decided to actually put him in the Disneyland mansion where he was always supposed to be and as he was originally intended. The trick works beautifully now. It is truly terrifying. Before I even knew about him, I went to Disneyland, saw him, and was like, what is that? It blew my mind. And then looked all this up and found out later. So anyway, he's been one of the biggest pros on the side of Disneyland Mansion versus Disney World Mansion. One of the Disneyland's version is better has always been, they have the Hatbox Ghost. Guess what? We'll have him very soon. No, I don't know when, but we'll have him now, and I'm very excited. We have more rooms in our Haunted Mansion, whatever, but we're getting the Hatbox Ghost, and my little horror nerd is so excited. And I saw that Holly was excited as well, so I was like, yes, my guy. We're just living. There was more than that, but that's probably the biggest one for me. But what we're not getting in Disney World, that Disneyland is getting, is the Mandalorian and Grogu.
Well, I don't know if it is just Disneyland.
Right now, it's just Disneyland. Right now, it's just Disneyland. We're not getting the Mandalorian and Grogu. As of now. Could change, but as of right now, it's just Disneyland. Yeah,
so that's the Disney Parks news for Star Wars. We didn't get much. This is it, is that the Mandalorian is now going to be in Galaxy's Edge only in Disneyland with a little animatronic Grogu in a satchel. And this has me torn because along with Boba Fett, they're now breaking continuity to bring these characters in because like it hurts me. It hurts me in the Star Wars heart. Like
I heard, so what I was seeing was that they might be removing like Rey from that park, and they'll just have Rey and like that timeline in our galaxies, in Galaxy's Edge East, and then this timeline in Galaxy's Edge West. So you could visit Galaxy's Edge at 2 different points in time. Allegedly. That's what I'm getting from this. Because, right, it would exist anyway. Am I wrong? No, wait.
Well, we don't know. Because
interesting. Well, because of Rise of the Resistance, it's really like kind of just at one specific point in time, isn't it?
Yes, the whole Galaxy's Edge park is set specifically because you have Kylo Ren in there and everything.
Yeah.
Could the Mandalorian be alive during that time? Yes. Could Grogu be alive during that time?
Yeah.
Yes. We don't know their future. And so theoretically, Boba Fett could be alive during that time. We don't know.
Sure, you're right.
But it is a significant amount of time later.
Yeah, it is. It's not, it's like 20-something years, right?
I would have to look at, but yes, 20-something is about right.
That's vaguely correct, right?
Vaguely there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know that people care. I think that people care more about the fact that we get to go meet.
This guy cares.
I understand that. But I think the majority of people who will go into this park just will be excited to see Grogu and Mando. Like, the amount of people who are going to be like, okay, breaks continuity. Me. What I'm talking about is me. I'll be like, okay, I get it. I get that this is bad theming, and as it goes against everything I stand for as a Disney parks nerd. Like, continuity is huge, sight lines, all of that good stuff. The fact that I could see Galaxy's Edge from Toy Story Land physically hurts me. But whatever. All of that stuff, whatever. It's still one of the best parks on the planet. So, sections of a park on the planet. And listen, I would be so thrilled because they're apparently supposed to drop mid-November. They're supposed to show up.
Yes.
Which is my birthday. So if
but you're in the wrong park.
Right. That's what I'm saying. If they were like, you know what? We'll also put them in Disney World. I'd cry like a baby. I'd cry like a child. Okay? I'd be so excited if I got to meet the Mandalorian and Grogu on my 30th birthday on Life Day. I'll lose my mind. But it's not going to happen. And we'll see. I don't know, man. I just think it's cool that there are more characters in the park.
I think you brought up something that I think is an issue with the parks in general. You were saying like they'll keep Rey and everyone in the Disney World Galaxy's Edge and let the other characters kind of go into the Disneyland Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it kind of goes into the problem they were having is that they wanted to duplicate the two Galaxy's Edges. And that was the wrong way to go about it because now you have these two parks. You're trying to tell a story, but now the two parks are supposed to be identical. They should have been two different things if you were going to do it that way.
Yeah. I don't know. There was an online thing that I saw that was very online. So I don't know. Like just social media people speculating, like the big speculation, which again was the word I could not remember last time we recorded. Speculation, y'all. Speculation. Whew. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really care. I'm just like, yeah, cool. Mando and Grogu, my two fave boys. Like, let me go hang out with them. So, if they're trying to create more reasons to go to both parks, they're doing it properly. But, yeah, I think that they should have had that from the jump. They shouldn't have been, identical. I don't know. It feels silly. But anyway, that's the parks news that we got.
Yeah, but speaking of The Mandalorian...
Yeah, good. Well done.
We got a trailer for Season 3.
We sure did.
And it
Well,
said
we got a teaser trailer. Let's be real.
Yes. But it also in the post on the Star Wars Twitter, it's saying streaming 2023. They had announced it as February 2023, but we've also seen their announcement dates slide. And so with no date on this post, I would question if that February is still a thing.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems weird that it's not there if they had previously announced it. Hey, let's be optimistic. Maybe it's January.
It's definitely not January.
It's definitely not January. But yeah, I don't know about that release date. I thought it was a fine teaser. It's definitely a teaser. It didn't give us really anything except the fact that Bo-Katan doesn't seem to want to kill Mando, which is interesting.
I loved her in the same building from the Clone Wars that on the Mandalore with the I don't know if it's the palace or what they're calling it, but basically the room with all the windows.
The room where it happens, yes.
Yeah, the room where it happens. Like we see that in live action. That looks really
kind of
awesome.
dope. Yeah, I like that they're gonna bring us to Mandalore. I like that in general. Obviously, Grogu and Mando seem to be having a great time together. We love to see it. What's his face? What's his face?
Babu Frick.
Also that, but no. Character from the other 2 seasons that we love.
Grief Karga.
Yes, love him in his red cape.
With his bright red robes.
Phenomenal. He is a freaking legend. Beautiful, just beautiful. Loved that. Loved not seeing a certain character who she shall not be named.
She's not coming back.
I love to see that. Yeah, I liked it. It was a fine teaser trailer, but I wasn't like crying about it or nothing. It was good.
I think that's all the Mandalorian news.
He showed up at D23. That was cool.
Yes, he did.
Obviously, just
Pedro
a guy
Pascal, like the actual actor.
It was actually him. It was no. Pedro's got better stuff to do.
He showed up on something. He had a. Oh no, I'm mixing him up with from Andor, Diego Luna.
I love Diego Luna.
He's the one that should. Yes.
He's a good Diego. A good Diego.
We got another little tiny news, Young Jedi Adventures. Got a couple of pictures of the characters. Like I said, this is going to be that kind of Disney Junior type cartoon, but it's taking place during the High Republic. So it's one of those like, oh no, I don't know what to do cartoons. It's like, I don't want to watch a Disney Junior Star Wars cartoon, but it's during the High Republic. So take it what you will. I'll be watching it, but that's just because I watch everything Star Wars. We got a couple of the main actors, Jamal Avery Jr., who I have no idea who is, and Emma Berman, who I also do not know who is, but that's coming out next year. We got Ahsoka casting news.
We did.
Ezra.
Yeah, he looks scarily like Ezra Bridger. Like, he looks perfect.
Like a grown-up Ezra.
Like, perfect. Like, terrifying. Go on.
Iman Esfandi, if I pronounce that correctly.
That, I have no idea. I say it the way you said it. But yeah, he is, if he can act, which I assume he's an actor, I guess he can act. Perfect. Absolutely. I can't wait to see what he does with it. But just from looks alone, not knowing any of his work, yep, that's Ezra. Like, he must have walked into a room and they were like, oh, like, there he is. Got him.
Yeah, I wonder how much of a role he'll actually be playing in the series. Because for anybody who's watched Rebels, spoiler warning, at the end, Thrawn goes missing with Ezra. Mm-hmm. We know Ahsoka is looking for Thrawn. So I assume the point is to find Ezra.
Well, you'd also assume that because we also saw Hera and...
Sabine?
Sabine. Sheesh. Hera and Sabine in the leaked trailer bit from Ahsoka. And the mural also. Yes.
And this actress Sabine has been the actress who's playing Sabine has been over a lot of things. So we 100% know Sabine is definitely like in this, and I imagine she's going to be a huge role. But Ezra seems like, just story wise, I would be surprised if he's in this a lot at all.
I think we'll get like scenes cutting to like him and Thrawn, maybe some like.
Playing poker
flashbacks. Who knows? I like going in not knowing exactly what's about to happen. Kind of like we did with Obi-Wan. That's not a segue, but it could be.
Obi-Wan was a blindside.
That was great. Absolutely loved that. I would love to also be blindsided by Ahsoka in a good way and have like the Ezra plotline finished in like 2 episodes and then do something else. Like that'd be nuts. And
or
just like
not have the Ezra plotline as a main storyline at all.
Sure. Listen, I do want to see that story though. That's the thing. That is a story I want to see very badly. So we'll see. But like if it's with those people, cool. I don't know what we're gonna see. I like having crumbs though. I like the breadcrumbing.
So that's still coming out next year.
Yeah.
The Ahsoka show. More casting. We got Lee Jong-jae from Squid Game is the male lead in The Acolyte, of which we only know that it's from Leslie Headland, and we know a couple of the actors. And that it takes place 100 years before The Phantom Menace.
I'll tell you what.
You tell me.
Shadow of the Sith has given me ideas. They use that word a lot. When I tell you they say acolyte a lot. That's like a main plot point is the acolytes. And it's given me an idea of what this is going to be. And I don't know if we talked about it. But if it is the same meaning of the word, it's a lot of dark side stuff. Like a lot of Sith, dark side of the Force stuff. At least that's how they're using the title of Acolyte in this book. Could be different. Could be completely different. But I don't know. That's why I'm putting puzzle pieces together. And I also don't know, because they like to time the books with kind of stuff going out or information coming out or whatever. So I don't know if this is like a primer for us before the show. I don't know. Because the timeline is obviously completely different. But the term of acolyte is being used quite a bit.
I don't remember them using the term acolyte, but you're also further along in the book than I am.
I have 5 hours left of the book. I am almost done.
Okay, you're much further along.
I'm almost done with this book.
The word of the day is Sith, 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 Sith,
Sith.
Sith, Sith.
Right. We'll chat about that next week. There are some moments where I'm like, oh dear sweet God. And then there's a lot of really cool stuff. But again, that's for next week. But Acolyte, we're talking about that quite a bit later on in the book. It all comes together.
So, I'm skipping some cool news to get the little stuff out of the way. Andor's coming back to theaters. Or not Andor, Rogue One is coming back to theaters September 8th and 19th. Yep. They're coming back.
I can't do either of those.
No, September 8th to the 19th.
Oh. So it's out now? Maybe I'll do that this weekend.
Out now.
Cool.
It says it returns to AMC theaters. I don't know if it is specific to IMAX, or if it's just everything now to get it back out in theaters.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Our next news, like I said, we got a lot of news.
Lots of news.
The Bad Batch.
Oh yeah.
Is premiering the end of September. No, October. No. 2022. No.
Eventually,
January 4th, 2023 is the official announced release date, which I'm assuming won't get changed.
Yeah, I think that'll be good.
Yes, it was. There's a rumored date going around of the end of September that apparently some Disney people were Disney Plus people were releasing, saying that it's supposed to start the end of September. I think it was they didn't get the news sort of thing and they were just looking at the placeholder.
Yeah, maybe. Interesting.
Bad Batch season 2. This is also why I don't think we're gonna get the Mandalorian in February.
I agree. You're right.
Because I think they're trying really hard to not have 2 concurrent television series.
I think you're right.
And I think anything dropping on one day alone does not qualify for the concurrent television series, because we are going to get a show or one episode of a show, or one day drop of a show. The Tales of the Jedi. We get a release date for that.
Mm-hmm. It looks great. New trailer.
Yeah, October 26th, we're getting all 6 shorts. The shorts are, the one I saw was probably about 15 minutes long. I would say they're probably going to all range between 10 and 15. But it looked amazing.
It looks really good. The Qui-Gon content is unmatched. I'm really, really excited.
The animation in it is just absolutely gorgeous. Like I don't think the Bad Batch is this quality.
I agree with you. Just from what we're seeing, it just looks stunningly beautiful, especially like the Ahsoka content is so good. Someone pointed out that the move that she uses, that Anakin is teaching her in the trailer, is the move that saves her life at the end of Clone Wars during Order 66. And I was like, that's really cool, actually. Yeah, that like sideways spin thing that she does. It's pretty dope. Yeah, really, really cool. But yeah, I'm very excited for that one.
Yeah, of the 6 shorts, I remember 3 are Ahsoka.
Yes.
And 3 are Dooku.
Yes, love that.
And we get a young Qui-Gon in some of these, with Liam Neeson reprising his role. I believe in at least some of them. I don't think he's doing all ages. I think they're actually going to get a younger guy to do the younger Qui-Gon, but he's doing the more age-appropriate Qui-Gon.
Right, just find a young Irishman and be done with it.
I am super excited for that. I cannot wait for that to come out.
Yeah, that'll be good.
So that is, I believe, all the news from D23.
I think you're correct. I mean, it's not all the news from D23, but all the news relevant to us.
All the Star Wars news, yes. But along with all of that, they had Disney Plus Day, which was, I think, Thursday before D23 even started.
I'll tell you what, I didn't get anywhere near the Disney Plus stuff because I work for an English company and the Queen died. So that day was something. I'll tell you what. So yeah, I just did not get to do any Disney Plus Day stuff, which was a bummer.
I definitely heard about the Queen.
Did you not? Tell me you did not.
No, I said I definitely heard about the Queen.
Oh, it's, goodness gracious. I thought you were being sarcastic, and I was like, oh my God, did I just tell you?
Yeah.
That the old white lady in power died?
Oh, no.
I won't say
died?
anything. I won't say anything. Okay? My thoughts and my views are my own, and I won't say anything either way.
There's definitely, of everybody I know, there's thoughts and feelings across the spectrum.
Oh, yeah.
So,
But my world stopped. Working for an English company was like, everything stop! I was like, okay, cool. It was a lot.
She definitely was probably one of the most influential people on the planet.
Sure, that is a neutral statement. That is probably true. She did stuff.
I watched CBS Sunday Morning. I try to watch it every week, and this last one was 110% Queen. So
I'm sure it was.
I now know more about the Queen than I ever did.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
anyway, Disney Plus.
We did get two things.
The royalty that matters.
Yes, we did get two things on Disney Plus Day. We'll talk about the first one because I didn't watch it. Was the 10-minute or so IMAX Andor preview. So if you went out to IMAX to see Andor, just to if you went out to IMAX to watch Rogue One just to see the Andor preview, well, it's now on Disney Plus. So I hope you enjoyed the movie too. But I did not end up watching it because I've been rather busy, and also the show's coming out in a week and a half, 2 weeks almost. No, week and a half. It'll be a week after this episode comes out. So I didn't watch it, but you did, Nicole.
I did watch it. It's interesting. I thought it was going to be like 10 minutes of show. It's not. It's like 4.5 minutes of show, I think, and then interviews with the people who are making it, that kind of thing, and then like trailer content. It's not a trailer, but like that kind of thing. Like I thought it was going to be straight like 10 minutes of a scene, or you know what I mean?
Okay,
it was like 3 or 4 minutes of a very good, very solid scene, part of which we see in the trailer, or I've seen in trailers, and like that they sent out a sneak peek, right? Like a conversation between Cassian and what's the actor's name?
The guy, the one that we got the 1 minute
Skarsgård
trailer.
Skarsgård,
yeah.
that gentleman. Yes, the elder Skarsgård, that guy. So that 1 minute is in the 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Like,
so that
fully,
was...
It's just more of that scene, a fair amount more of that scene, like a good amount of that scene, and then it cuts, and then there's action, so I think that conversation is going to last longer, and then there's like an action scene right after that. Like, you could tell they cut it just to like condense it. So it's a lot of interviews, a lot of behind the scenes, a lot of why did they make this show, and then like a lot about Cassian as a character and how, you know, we know where he ends up, but how does he start out, this kind of thing. And they had a backstory, so they wanted to make it. Yeah, it's good. It gets you hyped up, that's for sure. But it's not 10 minutes of straight episode. I said, it's probably 30% recycled content that you've already seen. And stuff that they, for some reason, repeat several times within the 10 minutes. Very weird. Because, like, you have the whole scene, and then they have a little trailer bit at the end, and parts of that scene are in the trailer bit. And you're like, I just saw this.
You didn't recut the trailer for this?
No, they did not. No, they did not. Very interesting. But anyway.
But the last thing that we wanted to talk about today was probably the most anticipated thing, especially since we didn't know we were getting what news we were getting for D23. I wasn't actually sure we were going to get anything for D23 because all their streaming content, nothing listed Star Wars in their streaming content. And so I was pleasantly surprised when the Star Wars Instagram and Twitter just kept dropping trailers all day. And I'm like, oh, this was nice. But besides that, we got the Obi-Wan, A Jedi Returns.
We sure did. What do you think is the first thing I'm going to say? I was looking for whatever about this behind the scenes. I've mentioned it before.
That you cried.
No.
You didn't cry?
I did, but no. I had speculated wildly.
Oh, about the voice. I was waiting and waiting and waiting for them to talk about the voice. It did not come up once.
I am so disappointed. But I will tell you this. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the question as to who is doing Vader's voice in Obi-Wan's in the Obi-Wan series, very much still up for debate. Okay, whether it's Hayden Christensen, mostly using a voice modulator that sounds like James Earl Jones, whether it's James Earl Jones, because James Earl Jones got a paycheck either way, or what they did, or why, or
James
if
Earl Jones,
they took both of them and fused them together. Nobody really knows, but a lot of these line reads sound like Hayden Christensen.
Yeah,
a lot of them.
Like James Earl Jones is credited as the voice of Darth Vader.
Correct. So my thing is, listen, you could go either way with this, but I feel like if it was James Earl Jones, they would have said it like, oh, when we brought back James Earl Jones, because how can you not, or whatever the heck. Like, they would have mentioned that it was him and had, like, some footage of him in the studio. That's what I was waiting for. I was like, give me that confirmation, and I will drop that it's Hayden Christensen forever. I'll never mention it again. But they really focused on Hayden being Vader, and I don't know. I still don't know, obviously. They're being very coy about it. I don't like it.
They were, because they didn't talk about stunt doubles.
Oh, and they used a lot of them. A lot of body doubles.
They didn't, like body doubles in the suit. Not one word in this of it.
Nope.
And you're right, James Earl Jones was not mentioned once.
Right.
They didn't talk about the voice at all.
Not at all. So I don't know what happened. I guess it's just, I always said, we'll find out that we didn't find out. I really gave him too much credit. Or, as you said, they're going to do an entire episode just about Vader, and we'll get it in a month.
It's entirely possible, because, like, for this hour-long documentary, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was great, but they did not answer a lot of questions. It was less about the making of the show and more about the story. And bringing the actors back to make this story, specifically Ewan and Hayden, but also Bonnie Peace.
Yeah, I think
Don't know how to pronounce her last name. Bonnie and Joel.
Joel Edgerton.
Yeah, they got special mention in there too.
Yeah, they did.
And so, like, I enjoyed it. I thought it was great, but it did not answer a lot of questions.
That's exactly it. I loved it. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought that they gave a lot of time to a lot of really great actors. Like O'Shea. I wanted to see more of him and his story and his vibe.
I like him.
I like him as a person a lot.
Yes, I like him as a person.
Like
I liked his acting, and I really hope he comes back for Andor, because I think they teased that it's a possibility in this documentary. They really did tease.
I mean, they focused on him quite a bit. And it's like, he's not a one-trick pony.
But they also said in this that he was there for the birth of the rebellion. I'm like, but we're getting a show about the birth of the rebellion.
Hey, did you get that Wade made it in? They mentioned Wade really quickly. Like, it was in a scene, like, in the background, like, they were in between, like, talking about something. It was the scene between O'Shea and that other pilot and Obi-Wan. And he mentions Wade, our boy Wade, and I laughed so hard. I was like, who's Wade? no, Wade. Like, I just laughed a lot again.
Poor Wade. I remember seeing the other pilot. I didn't see Wade back there.
He didn't make it. They just mentioned him. They just said his name, and I was like, wow, we're still talking about Wade. But yeah, go on.
My favorite line from the whole documentary is Ewan and Hayden are standing there in the volume watching Revenge of the Sith. Mm-hmm. And he goes I have the high ground, and Ewan makes the comment, if I had $1 for every time somebody told me that they had the high ground.
Yeah, it was really, really good. I was like, oh, buddy. It was just cute to see them talk only positively, about their experience in Star Wars. Like, almost as if that negativity that they experienced doesn't have as much of a sway over them anymore now that they've done this. Or Disney really wants to frame this better. But my favorite line I'm sorry. My favorite line in the whole documentary is when Ewan's got the box of cigars.
Oh, yes.
His son was wearing his Disney's gonna love this. I was like, and they left that in.
You're right. They
So
left,
good.
not only did they leave it in, they left him commenting on Disney in it.
I thought that was very funny. I was like, did someone review this? Like, anybody? Very good. But yeah, I don't know. I just liked how happy it was and how joyful and how much fun they were having on set and all of it. And I liked seeing Moses Ingram excited.
I think,
You know?
well, seeing Moses Ingram excited is also before the show was released.
It's what I'm saying. That's
And,
exactly what I mean. Poor woman. Oh my God.
I think she's fantastic, but
I do too.
she
Big fan.
Can't hear us.
No, she can.
You're right. I think you and Hayden were 100% positive. There's not one negative thing that they said in here about their time with the prequels, and I liked that. And I think I don't think it was a Disney PR move, because I think it is legitimately the way that they feel about the movies.
I hope so.
And because like seeing them at Celebration, they were joyous to be there. Ewan said it was his first celebration. He even said in the documentary it was his first celebration. But like when at Celebration, he said he wanted to come back.
Yeah, I love that for him. I love how much fun they're having now and how much they can enjoy the work that they did. I thought it was interesting to kind of see the difference between how they filmed it then and how, like, when they were, you know, fighting stuff with the lightsabers, they're just hitting nothing, and you could tell, like, that's a little tough. And then there's so much practical effects now, and, like, they're able to do certain things that they weren't then, and it's not just, with the volume specifically, like, it's not just blue screen everywhere. Like, they actually have something to play in. And I think that also makes a difference to them, which is cool. But yeah,
there's also a surprising amount. I was under the impression, because everybody was saying it, that this was 100% volume. It's not.
No, it's not.
They don't comment on it at all, but they kept showing the scenes as they're filming. I'm like, those are not the volume. That's like an actual set that they either built or were outside in. And so it's a surprising amount. Like a lot of times I couldn't tell if they were in the volume or not.
Nope. And that's how good the volume is. You can't always tell you're in the volume.
You don't talk about the volume in Volume Club?
We don't talk about the volume. No. God help me. I'll throw myself out the window, thanks.
Aren't you on the first floor?
Second floor, babe.
Oh, okay. I guess I could throw myself out the window, but it's ground floor.
Yeah, no, I'm on the second floor, so it would hurt.
A little.
A little bit.
Depends on if you open the window.
Right. You're right.
So I thought this was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I liked Little Leia. I still like Little Leia.
Little Leia. I love Little Leia. Deborah Chow. Can we talk about Deborah Chow and how good she is with Little Leia, and also in general? Like, as a director, she's phenomenal, obviously. But the way that she was directing little baby Leia, I loved it. I was like, the patience in this woman.
I think she understands Star Wars a lot better than I don't want to say most or many, but some people give her credit for, because she knows what she's doing.
She absolutely does. Absolutely does. And I loved that they commented on the fact that we all thought it was going to be a Luke and Obi-Wan story, but it was a Leia and Obi-Wan story, and why they wanted to do that and how important that was. And I loved it. I loved it. I loved when Ewan mentioned that she had to do what he had to do with Sir Alec Guinness. Like, this little girl had to do with freaking Carrie Fisher. And I was like, that is so apt, and poignant. And yeah, it was just so good. It's just so good. That was such a good choice.
Well, I liked when he was saying, he's like, I basically their real life relationship mirrored their on-screen relationship, because he's like, I didn't know her at first. I had to get to know her, just like the characters didn't know each other. But over the course of filming, like you basically build this relationship where the characters are also building this relationship over time.
That and the comment about how even though Obi-Wan doesn't know that he's talking to Anakin's daughter, he responds to her in like the exact same way. Like with annoyance and frustration at first, and then so much love and affection and appreciation later on. But the fact that like she pushes his buttons in the same way her father did, I loved that. I loved that little subtle, like, of course, that makes sense, but just like bringing that to life was so smart and done so well.
That's I think I don't remember if we've ever mentioned this, but it's like Leia is Anakin's daughter, where Luke is more Padme's son. I
think there's a lot of Padme and Leia, like a ton of, like, especially with the political career, the diplomacy, the ability to both be a badass and also like a brilliant politician and leader. I think there's a ton of Padme and Leia. But personality wise,
like she's the fighter.
She is.
Like Luke is not the fighter. Like she is. Leia is definitely the fighter, where Anakin was the fighter, and Luke is more the diplomatist.
Diplomat. How about diplomat?
Sure, we'll go with that one. Like he tries to kind of talk. Like obviously, Leia, it being a senator and being in the government, has to be able to talk. Like diplomacy.
She's a princess, for crying out loud.
I feel like she's more willing to fight it out, whereas Luke is kind of let's simmer this down.
A little. I mean, later in life, absolutely. As a youngin, like in the originals, especially in the beginning, he's a pain in the ass, just like his father. But he's such a whiny little brat in A New Hope, just like his father is in Attack of the Clones. It's bananas. Like, that's wild. So, I think maybe they grow into their mother almost. Whereas, like, their youth is their father. And then they, like, find the best of both of them in adulthood. I don't know. But yeah, that's definitely their kids. That's for dang sure. That's the truest thing ever, is that they are both definitely their parents' children.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I say one other thing I liked about the documentary was kind of how it bounced back and forth between filming of A New Hope.
I liked that as well. It was shocking to see George Lucas as a young man. Every single time I'm like, whoa. Because to me, he's always been a little bigger with that salt and pepper hair, and like he's always just like, that's George Lucas, right? This young son of a gun who's like got darker hair, I'm like, who are you?
Who are you who has your whole life ahead of you?
Who's making terrible decisions and that your wife has to fix them. It's fascinating. It was definitely fascinating, but like also just watching the Obi-Wan and Vader scene in A New Hope, and then the Obi-Wan and Vader scenes that we have now, you're like, ooh, what is going on with the lightsaber? That as well. I loved seeing Ewan pick his lightsaber for the prequels, and then see his lightsaber for this series, and those two scenes being kind of back to back. I was like, this is edited very well. Whoever did this did a very good job.
That's why I was at the end of it. I'm like, man, who made this documentary? Because it is like spot on.
It's very good.
Edited. It makes you invested in the characters. And because it's about, like I said, it's about the story, it's about the actors, but it's not it's not about the visual effects or anything like that. Like they didn't talk about the making of it.
Right.
So, that's all I have. Anything else on your end?
No, that's it. Excited to talk about this book finally next week.
Yeah, so next week we are going to be talking Shadow of the Sith. You may have heard of it, even if you didn't. We're talking Shadow of the Sith. We have a special guest coming on the chat the book with us, so that will be a lot of fun. If you would like to get a hold of us, you can send us an email, talkintauntauns@aiptcomics.com. You can find us on Twitter @talkintauntauns. You can join us on Discord through our Patreon with AIPT Comics. And you can leave us a review, please.
If you want. A good one. A good one. If you got a bad one, just write an email.
Yes, you can write it.
You could do that. Or just keep it to yourself. Or write it down on a piece of paper, look at it, and throw it away.
Yes, we have a what my wife termed a F*CK bucket, where writes down everything negative that happens and crumples it up and throws it into the bucket. And so that you throw it away.
Put your negative review in there.
Yep. So you can give it to me, and I will throw it in the buckets.
There you go. Yeah, you get that anger out. If you've made it this far, I'm pretty sure you're not hate listening. So if you'd like to support us, you could do that through positive reviews and or the Patreon, or you could just keep listening. That's fine too.
Yes, share a friend. Share it with a friend, or
share it with a friend, or share your friend.
Share a friend and share it with your friends.
Jesus.
And with that, we'll see you next week.
Good night.